Hi guys, and welcome to my classes. Now if this is your first time here, thank you for joining, and I was here waiting on you. So welcome to the classes, and I'm happy to have you. Now in this class today, what we're going to do, we're going to make a simple maxi dress with a wrap front bodice, and we're going to create a nice belt with a lovely sleeve for this dress. Now this is a simple method which you guys know it would be the beginner method, which is for person who never even sew or even enter on a sewing machine. Now this could work for beginner, advanced, intermediate. Anybody can join my classes and learn from it. So in these classes, as I said, we're going to create a lovely maxi dress with a wrap front bodice and a belt to go with it. So if you want to see how to draft this dress and how to sew this dress together, let's get started and create this pattern for this maxi dress. So I will see you at the table, and enjoy my classes, and thanks for joining, and share it that others can join. So in this classes, what we're gonna need some fabric, we're gonna need some pattern tools, we're gonna need some marker, and we're gonna need also our measurement and a ruler with pattern paper so that we can get going with this simple dress. So let's get down to the tools that we will need. Let me show you the fabric I will be using and the tools and the paper that you will need. So let's get started. So you would need a ruler for this dress. You will need a ruler for draft the pattern. You would need some fabric as well. You would need some pattern paper. You would need a marker so that we can go ahead and draft this, and you would need your measurement, and you'll need a measuring tape, and the length of the dress you'll need the length of the dress. So on we are using, I'm going to use this dress form, and I'm going to create the dress for this dress form which will fit me perfect. So the measurement we would need our bust measurement. Now get your bust measurement and you write that down. Then we would need our waist measurement. Get your waist measurement and write that down. We would need our hip measurement. We're going to write that down. Need the length of the dress from your belly button to however long you want your dress. If you want your dress to touch your floor, you measure down how long you want it. Put your heels on first and then come back and measure how long you want this dress to suit. Now we're going to need the shoulder measurement, which is going to be 5 inches. We're going to add 5 inches to that, and then we're going to create the sleeve of this dress. So this is the measurement you will need, and we're going to get to draft the dress. So let me repeat again if you don't understand. We're going to need the shoulder measurement, which we're going to extend the shoulder measurement. So my own is 4, but I will extend it out to get the sleeve. So one, you're going to need the shoulder measurement, which is shoulder to shoulder. You're going to need the shoulder measurement here. Then we're going to need this measurement here. So this is length of this skirt from, or the length of the dress. Measure down how long you want your dress to the floor, or you can measure it from your waist to however long you want the skirt to meet the floor. All right, so let's get started into, and I'm going to guide you step by step how to do this. So first of all, I have some fabric here. Now the fabric that I'm using is a stretch material fabric I have here that I am using. Now this fabric is a simple stretch fabric I have here that I want to use this fabric for a whole maxi dress. So I think I'm going to use this fabric. It's a lightweight fabric, so I'm going to use this fabric. I have 3 yards here. So let's get down into drafting this outfit that we need. So I have my pattern paper here, which I'm going to draft from. So now this pattern paper here that I have, I'm going to roll it out, and it depends upon how long you want your dress to be. Now from the top of the paper, we have to square this paper off because my top is not straight. So I'm going to find a straight marking. I'm going to line up one marking here, and I'm going to square this pattern piece off. I'm going to square this off. I'm going to line up this line, and I'm going to square off this pattern piece. Now this, from this line, I'm going to measure 2 inches to make a normal straight line. Now this is just a guideline so that the pattern can be straight. I am making, because my pattern paper was not straight. So from this line here, the second line that I draw, what I'm going to do, I'm going to measure down my bust measurement, which is 10 inches. So my bust measurement is 10 inches, which I'll put a mark here, and I'll put a mark here as well. Then I would measure down my waist measurement, which is 16 inches, and I would put a mark here. So on opposite side, I put a mark 16 inches. When I finish, I'm going to measure down my hip measurement. So first we're gonna connect this line. So I'm going to connect the bust line, which is here, these two marks right here. We're gonna connect this, and we're gonna connect the waist as well. And then what we're gonna do, from the waist measurement, which is the last line we draw, let me pull up my paper so that I can get the length that I need. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to measure down the hip. Now the hip measurement we're using is from your waist right here to wherever, look on the mannequin where my hand is right now, is from your hip. Let me bring the mannequin close. So you measure from your waist to the fattest part of your hip and see how much you get right here. So I get 9. So from the waist measurement, I'm going to measure down 9 inches here. So it's 9 here, and I'll put 9 over here as well. So we're going to do this dress. So I'm going to connect these lines. When I finish, I will tell you how much line we have to connect. So I'm going to connect these marking. So now from the waist measurement, which is this the one before the last measurement, which is this one, we need the length of this dress. So you decide the length of your dress you need. It could be, my finished length does be 27, but I want it longer than 27. So I would measure from my waist to see how long I want this dress. So I want this dress, I want it long but not to touch the floor. So I will see how long this dress. I'm measuring down from my waist right down to the floor. Wherever I want the dress, I'm going to measure my waist right down to the floor to see how far, because I'm going to measure to the floor, because when I put on my heel, it would cover the heel. I need to do a photo. So I'm going to measure down and see how much I get to the floor. So I get 40. So my waist line, I'm going to measure down so the normal length of my dress does be 27, but I'm going to add about 12 more inches to that. So I will make my dress length 40 inches. From my waist will be 40. So from my waist, my length of my dress will be 40 inches down from my waist. So I'm making a maxi dress, so it's going to be 40 inches down from my waist. The 40 inches is good for me because that's a pretty long dress. And now I'm going to connect the 40 inches line. Now we're going to connect this line. We're going to connect that line. So we will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines. Working with 5 lines, we draw 6 lines, but we're working with 5 lines. The reason why is because this one here, we won't be working with this first one anymore, because the first one is what we do for line up the paper. So on this the first line now, we're going to put our shoulder. Now you remember the shoulder, what I show you that we need. We're going to put the shoulder. So on this line, my shoulder to shoulder was 15, and I divided that by 2. So that your shoulder to shoulder measurement is this. So I'm going to get this measurement. So from one shoulder to the next shoulder. So you measure it like this. One shoulder bone, right where you have the shoulder bone here, to the next shoulder bone, and how much ever you get, you write that down. So you do it one shoulder bone here to the next shoulder bone like this, like that. And how much ever measurement you get, you write it down, and we're putting it on the first line. So the first line is what we're working on. So for my own, I am 15 inches, so I'm going to put 7.5. So I need 7.5. So I'm going to put a mark right on this line here. So I put a mark there. So that would be my shoulder measurement. Now, the next measurement we're going to work on the bust measurement. Now the bust measurement is around the fullest part of your bust where you measure. You're measuring around the fullest part of your bust. How much ever you get, you divide that by 4, right? So my own is 37. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to divide that by 4. So 37 divided by 4 equal 9.5. So on this line here, I'm going to put a 9.5 right here, plus I would add 1 inch, right, for stitching. So 9.5 plus 1 inch would be 10.5. So I need 10.5. So I put a mark right here. Now on the waistline, we're going to measure the waist, which is here, and we're going to divide that by 4. So get your waist measurement right away around here. You take your measuring tape, measure your waist, and my waist is 34, so I'm going to divide that by 4. So 34 divided by 4 would left me with 8.5. So get your measuring tape and measure around your waist. How much ever you get, divided by 4 and add 1 inch. So my own was 34. I divided by 4. I get 8.5 plus 1 inch for seam. So I get 9.5. So on the waistline, which is this line, which is the third line, I'm going to put 9.5 right on this line here. Now coming to the hip line, which is the hip line, the one before the last line for the length, we're going to measure that. Now your hip is the fullest part of your hip around here. So you take the measuring tape and you measure around the fullest part of your hip. You measure around the fullest part of your hip, and we dividing that by 4. So I get 46, divide that by 4, and I add 1 inches to that, right? So 46 divided by 4 equal 11.5 plus 1 inch equal 12.5. So I will put it 12.5 here. That is for the stitching line. So 12.5 on the hip line. Now on your bottom of the dress, which is the length of the dress, we're going to add 12.5 here as well. So the same hip measurement we're using, we're going to add it onto this line. So 12.5 I'm going to add here. And what we're going to do, we're going to extend out this dress about 5 to 6 inches. So let me see how much my paper have here. So we're going to add 6 inches to this dress from the 12.5. So what we're doing, our hip measurement is the last measurement going on this line here, right? So we have 12.5 that we put on the hip measurement. So we're gonna hip measurement and on the length of the dress, the length, the length of the dress that we need, how long we want we dress. So from the 12.5, we measure out 12.5 and we put a mark. Then we're gonna add 5 to 6 inches. So I add 6 inches on my 12.5. So add the 12.5 and then add 6 inches out. So now we're gonna connect all these lines on this dress here. Yes, we're gonna connect these on the line we measure out the extra 6 inches. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna connect all these lines. So I'm gonna roll my paper up and I'm go from the starting, you guys can see. So what I'm going to do on the shoulder line, what I'm going to do, I'm going to measure down from the shoulder line 1 inch. The reason why I'm measuring down 1 inch is to get a shoulder slope. So I'm going to measure down 1 inch And what I'm going to do, I'm going to measure down 1 to 1.5 inches. So 1 inch I measure down, and I put my mark there. Now the shoulder slope is from here, from right by your neck to here. So I will take my measuring tape and I'll measure from here to this bone, wherever this bone there on the shoulder, and how much ever I get, I'm going to put it right here. I'm going to measure from this marking to how much ever. So my own is 5 inches. So where the 5 inches is, I'm going to put it at the 1 inch I measure down, and then I'm going to make the mark for the neck. So 5 inches. My own is 5 inches. Let me make sure it's 5 inches. My own is 4.5 inches. So I'm going to put 4.5 inches, sorry. So whichever is you own, you put it from the 1 inches you measure down from. Right? So now what we're going to do, we're going to get our ruler and we're going to connect this line here. That's what we're going to do. So I'm going to get my ruler, and from the 1 inch mark that we measure down to the 4.5 inches here, I'm going to connect that line to make the shoulder slope. So I'm going to connect it and make a shoulder slope. So this is the shoulder slope that we make here. Now from this shoulder slope, I'm going to connect the shoulder slope line, which is the 1 inch we measure down, to the bust line. Now before we measure down to the bust line, we need this across front here. So from here to here, see how much you get right between the arm crease here. Like from here to here, let me bring the mannequin. So from here to here, which is across the chest, see how much you get, and we're gonna divide that in 2. So my own is 15, my own is 14. Sorry, so I'm gonna divide mine and I'm going to make it 7 inches, plus I will add 1/2 inch to it, so it's going to be 7.5 inches. So I'm going to add 7.5 inches there. So that's going to give me that going to give me the across front. So to put this mark right here that we put, we have to move this mark up. So we need between here and here. So what we're going to do, take your measuring tape, measure on the shoulder line to the bust line and see how much you get and divide it in 2. Now I get 10 inches because my bust width from my neck to my bust would be 10. So I need in between this line right here. So my one was 10, so I divide it in 2, I get 5. So I'm going to mark in 5. And now I'm going to draw in a line with that. So drawing a line here, so that we call that the across front. Right here, and then the measurement you take from here to here, see how much you get and divide it in 2, and we're going to put it on this line that we just draw in. So my own was 15, and my own is 7.5, and I'm going to take off 1/2 inch, make it 7 inches. So 7, my own was 14, sorry, and I put 1/2 inch, so I get 7.5 inches. So put it on that line. Now you're going to get your armhole curve, and we're going to connect these lines. So we connecting the 1 inch that we measure down to make the shoulder slope. We connecting the across front dot, and we connecting the bust dot. So we connecting 3 dots, which is the 1 inch, the 1 inch we measure down from the shoulder slope for make the shoulder slant. We connecting the across front where we just mark, and then we connecting the bust dot to make the armhole. So make sure the armhole touch these 3 marking. So my armhole is touching this 3 marking. Make sure it's touching the 3 marking, and we're going to connect them to this line here. All right, and now we're going to come and we're going to connect up to the 1 inch line that we measured down. So you would have something looking like this. So this is the armhole curve. Now we're going to take this same curve and we're going to connect this line to the waistline. So you got the bust, and now we're going to connect it to the waist. Now I am not straight, I am kind of curvy, so I would use my curve side to connect my line. If you are straight, you can curve yourself just as that. You don't have to make it straight. You can curve yourself as well to give you a little shape. Now what we're going to do, we're going to connect from here to the hip line. So this is the hip line. We come in and we connecting. Now we're going to turn the curve this way because I am curving, right? And we're going to connect this to the hip line. Let's connect it to the hip. So we're connecting the waist to hip now to get this nice shape dress. So we connect that. Now we're going to connect it out to this length of this dress that we need. Now we need to carry this hip line out to the dress. So we have our hip measurement right here, and we need to carry that out to the 6 inches measurement that we put. Remember, we do the hip measurement was 12.5, and then we add 6 inches to the 12.5 to the hip, the length line. So we have to connect from the hip and we carrying it out to the length line. So this is a rule I have here. Let me get a longer ruler where I can connect that line to make it straight. So I'm going to get my longer rule, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to connect this line here. This is not long enough. I need a longer ruler. So let me see if I get a longer rule where I can connect these lines. So I have this ruler here, so I'm going to connect this line. So my ruler long enough. So let me explain this box for you again. Now, this is the hip line. This is the hip line where we measure out 12.5 inches. This is where we just connect from the waist to the hip. And then on the length line, the length of the dress where we need from our belly button to the floor, we put the hip measurement, which is 12.5 inches. On the last line, there's the length line. So the last line on the paper is where we put the 12.5 as well. So we got 12.5 two place. We have 12.5 on the hip line, which is the line before the last line. So we have 12.5 here. And on the last line, we add 12.5 as well. And then we add 6 inches to that 12.5. So what we do, we add 12.5 from here, 12.5, and we put a mark here, right? Then from this marking, we go out 6 inches, and then we put a mark here. So this mark here is where we connecting from here to the hip measurement to give us the A-line look of this dress. So now we're going to measure it out there. So from the hip measurement, the 12.5, carry it out to the 12 plus the 6.5 inches we going out. So we're going to connect it to the last dot that we do to give us this A-line effect, this kick out dress. All right. So this is what our dress will look like. Connect from the. Now we don't want the bottom straight, so we're gonna come up 1 inch from this corner here. We get it from the side. We're gonna come up 1 inch so we can curve this. So we're gonna come up 1 inch, and we're gonna take our curve and we're gonna curve back this dress to the. Curve this dress back like this to the bottom of the dress, so we have this nice curve instead of it pick out, right? So what we're going to do now, since we add that inches, we're going to cut this dress out. So we're going to cut out this dress. So this is what our dress look like. But before we cut that out, what we need to do, we're going to put the neck that we need, right? So then it depends on the neck what you need. So I need a kind of V-neck dress. So from the shoulder here, right, I'm going to go in 1 inch. I'm going to go in 1 inch. So I go in 1 inch, and then I coming down. You come down as how low you want your dress to be. Your dress could be low as your waistcoat here. what you will have to wear a vest under that to give you that nice look. So if you have whatever fabric you want to use, you can use that low cut and you get a vest to match it, a nice or inner piece to match it, so it would look wonderful. Right? So it's up to you how low you want this dress to be. So for me, this is my waist here. I don't want my own so low. This is my bust here. I don't mind going to the bust, and I could wear an inner piece if I wanted. Right? It left to you how you want to do your dress. Now, do I want to wear an inner piece, or do I just want a nice simple dress where I don't have to put on too much clothes underneath it? Because that's a lot of clothes to put on underneath. So what we're going to do, if you don't want it so low for expose your bust and you don't want to wear no inner piece underneath it, you can come up. You can come up how low. What you can do is come up about, let me see, 2 inches from the bust, and you can connect it like that so it won't cut so loose. I think I will go with this 2 inches up from the bust measurement. So this is my bust measurement, my bust line here. Right at the edge of the armhole here is my bust. So I'm measuring up 2 inches. So 2 inches from there would give me a nice V, and I'm going to come and I'm going to connect it this way. I'm going to connect it so I get this lovely V here. Right? So now what we're going to do, we're going to draw out this line here. So to get this sleeve on this dress, you take it from right by this line here. This is the shoulder line. We take it from this line, and what we need to do, we need to go out. Go out, however long you want the sleeve, you go out. So you don't go out, right out to the shoulder line, however long you want it, right? And then you come to the bust line and you measure out however long you want it. So from the sleeve here, you see the sleeve have a slant, so we're going to slant it the same way out. We have this slant here, slanted the same way, and we coming out. So we're going to do it like this. Measure it out. So that is my sleeve, and then we come in here. So now for the sleeve, so I slant it out with the from, this is the shoulder, so I draw a line straight out by the slant. So now for under the armhole, we have to connect this. Now what you're gonna do from the bust line where it goes straight out, what we're gonna do, you're gonna measure up about 2 inches from that line. Measure up 2 inches to 1 inch, it depends upon. So we measure up 1 inch. Because remember, you gotta get room for put your hand in. Right? So you could measure up 1 to 1/2 inch. Do 1/2 inch. So we measure up 1/2 inch, and what we're gonna do from our bust line, we're gonna connect to that 1/2 inch. From the underarm line, we're gonna connect to that 1/2 inch. So we're gonna connect it like this and come back to the underarm. So this would be our sleeve. Now it depends on how long you want your sleeve. I don't want my sleeve too long. I want my sleeve like a 3/4 sleeve. So I'm going to connect that. Right? Now we need to add some seam allowance to this sleeve. So get your measuring tape, and we're gonna add 1/2 inch. So we're gonna add 1/2 inch, or you could add 1 inch. So let's add 1/2 inch. So we're gonna need to add 1/2 inch to this new line. 1/2 inch, so that we can stitch this sleeve back. So 1/2 inch we add in. Alright? 1/2 inch. So we're gonna come and we're gonna stitch this sleeve back. So we add in the 1/2 inch. So we add 1/2 inch right here. So we come in and we're gonna stitch that sleeve back. And now you're gonna get your marking and redraw back this line. I'm gonna cut out this dress that we have here. So this is the front of our dress finished. So let me show you how to cut out this. So get your paper scissors, and we're gonna cut this dress, but don't take off this, don't cut the V. So cut out the whole dress by the arm, by the shoulder. So we're cutting out this. Cut out that. And we're going out cutting out the dress. So this is the bottom of the dress, and we're gonna cut this bottom of this dress out. So we're cutting it like this. And we're going out cutting. So we cut until we meet to the sleeve of the dress. So we cut in, cut, then we go into the underarm. Now when I meet the underarm, we turn in like this, turn the scissors, but we could cut out the sleeve. Now remember, we need to lift some, let's cut out the sleeve like this. So now your dress could be like this. So this is the sleeve and this is the dress. Now I'll show you how to style this dress as well. So let me just remove this paper. Let me remove this paper. So this is what your dress will look like. So you have this whole dress here with the sleeve and everything. Now to get the wrap front of this dress, you need to cut here. We need to cut this so that we can fix this front to get this dress, right? So we need to fix that so we can extend this dress right here. We can extend this dress here where it could come out, right? We need to get that extension, so we need to cut this here. So I'll show you what to do if you don't need that. If you don't need the wrap front dress and you just need this V front, you don't have to cut this, right? You can cut out your dress just as this. But if you need a wrap front, you just cut out this dress here and you will get the wrap front dress that we need, because we need to style this to get this nice wrap to make this belt if you need a wrap front. If you do just need a simple dress for now, we can just leave it so with the V front and we can cut out our dress. So let me show you what we're gonna do. So this is what our sleeve look like right here, right? So this is our sleeve. We connect back here. So we have our sleeve, we have everything here for this dress that we have. So let me just put this up. Yes, so this pattern here, what we're gonna do, we have to trace this pattern out back, because I want to keep this pattern just in case I want to make a dress without cutting it up. I need to keep this pattern. So you're gonna get your paper and we're gonna trace this dress over. Now if you wish, you can go ahead and do your dress like that, but I need my original pattern. That's what I always do, so I could always have a pattern where I can trace over back. So I'm going to trace this dress out back. I'm going to trace it just as how it is here. Pull it to the edge right here. Pull it to the edge. we're gonna do, since this is our shoulder line, we're gonna measure up, measure down from this line here, this draw line here, which is the shoulder. Measure down, come down 1 inch. So you come down 1 inch, and then you take your ruler and you put it this way, and we're marking in the back of this dress from this shoulder. So we get our back. So this one would be our back, this would be our front. All right, so what we need to do is cut out this dress now, and we get our back and we get our front. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna cut the back of the dress out first. So get your scissors, the paper scissors that you have. Let's cut out our dress. So here is our back and our front on one people. And if you want, you can just go ahead and do your dress like that, but I need the little wrap. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut the waist of the dress here. I only need the wrap in front, okay? So we're going to put this aside. So this is the this is the skirt we have here. So we're gonna rest this skirt right here. And this, we're gonna use this now to cut out our I'm gonna use this paper to make the belt. So here's this here. So this we left with this here. So this is the back and the front. So the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna take off the front half of this top. So to get the front half of this top, we need to use a paper longer than the top, where it could double in half, and we can reach to this. So we can get this. So we need to fold our paper like this. We need to fold our paper like this. So we'll just do the front, guys, just the front we're styling. So grab your paper like that. You don't want to waste any paper. You grab neck like that, make sure the sleeve match up. Put it on the fold or the paper, on the paper that we fold. You put it on the fold. Get a weight and hold it down. Make sure it's on the fold. And we're retracing this. We're retracing it so that we can get the front, and with the front we need only the front we need. We only need the front, we need to retrace the front. I'm going to remove this now, and I'm end up with this top here. So I end up with this. So I have to cut that out. So we're going to cut out this paper. Now, fashion is all about style. You have to develop your own style. So now what we need to do is trace this over on the back of this paper. So mark out your v-neck where you want it, which is here. So I mark that out there. So that's my v-neck. Right now this is where your armhole come in. Right here you have to come and mark that out. So get your ruler and we're marking out where the armhole come in. So our armhole start from here and we come up. So this is what our top will look like. So now we need to copy this over here. So we're gonna get our marker and we're gonna copy this over to the next line. Right? You need to copy. Copy it. I see in the line on my mark. So that's why I can do this. So that's why I tell you use a marker where you can see the line. This is the shoulder. And I'm not copying the back of the top, I'm copying the V-neck of the top, which is here. Straight here. So when I open this top, it's going to be like this. So you see the V connect, I have a V here. You see how this V look? So this is what our top will look like. Now we need to forget the wrap that we need. We can do the wrap this way. So from that line we extending this wrap quite here, right? So I have to get a longer ruler, which is my curve rule, and we extending that V. So you can do it how you want, right? So you get your curve ruler and you measure up how far you want this V to go, how far you want the wrap to end. So for me, I'm going to get my ruler and I'm going to measure up about 2 inches from the bottom to 3 inches from the bottom of the top. So I'm going to measure up 2 inches from the bottom of the top. So I'm going to put a mark here. I don't want my own so low. So from this line here, I'm going to come and I'm going to connect. You see where the V is? I'm going to come and connect this line. So it can come and it will match up with this line here. And I'm going to come and this is what I get. So this is what I will end up with. If you want, you can swing your ruler like this and you can come and curve it this way as well. Alright? You can come and curve it like this and bring it back to match that line right there. So you end up with a curve V. So this is what our wrap front dress will look like with this curve right here. Right? Now we're curving it from the same shoulder line and we're curving it, we're using the V. So you notice we use the V and we curve it, we measure up 2 inches from the bottom and we curve it. So you come back and you curve it, you highlight the curve where you need to cut. Highlight it. So we cutting this out straight here. Straight here. Alright, now we need to add 1/2 inch to that, so that we can fold that in, or we're going to add 1 inch up. So from that, let's add 1 inch. So we have 1 inch, 1 inch, so I have 1 inch on this ruler, which goes here. So I'm going to measure up 1 inch right here. So this is my inch. Inch, 1 inch, 1 inch. So now get your ruler and you can curve it like this. Curving it. Switch your curve around if you want it curvy. And we connect in. So this is what we have. So when we fold this in, the feet gonna be here. So now we got to cut this out. But before we cut this out, we have to add 1/2 inch to that waist measurement to connect it back to the skirt. So get your measuring tape and we're gonna measure 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch. Only the front of the top we're doing this to, because the back don't have a wrap. 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, and now we're gonna connect these 1/2 inch that we make. All right. So we have this 1/2 inch, and we're gonna connect it back to this line here. this is our half inch here. All right. So we have our half inch, which we're gonna connect. So now we're gonna go and we're gonna cut out this top here. So this is the front, so it's only the front we styling. So we have to cut out this top. So get your paper and let's cut this top out. Alright? So what we need to do is cut out this top. So we're gonna cut this top out like this. Cutting this straight here. So go ahead and let's cut from here. Now for the sleeve, before we cut, we need to add half inch as well. We'll turn up the sleeve. So we need to add that half inch to get that sleeve in. So we're gonna connect that sleeve. And we gotta cut that out. So let's go and cut out this, and let me show you how this top will look. So cutting shoulder, so our shoulder we need to extend to this one here where we do the arm. Where we do the facing. And now we're gonna come and we're gonna cut. So we have to get two pieces of this front. So one gonna come and lap and one gonna come and fix the other, right? So one will come and lap over the other. It gonna be. So we're gonna get a wrap here. So now we need to cut out the fabric for this here, right? The skirt we need to add half inch to come back and reach that. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna get the fabric first and we're gonna cut out this fabric. As I said, I am using this. So let's cut out the fabric. So this is my fabric. Look for the stretchy part. Part that have the most stretch. Get your skirt pattern, which is this. Place it on the fold, because this is the front of the skirt we're cutting out here, and we need to lift half inch up top here. So let's pull this down. We don't want to lift or waste any fabric. So this is the front of the skirt we're cutting out here. So we need to cut out the front first. I'm going to use some pattern weight that I have to hold my skirt down. Alright, so I'm going to get some pattern weight and we're using the pattern weight to hold this skirt down. Just to hold this skirt down like this, and we're going to cut this skirt out. Now this is the front of the skirt and we have to cut one more back like this as well. This is your front of your skirt, so when you open it, this is what you will get. This is what you would get, the front of the skirt with a nice flow. So we'll put this aside. Put the skirt aside. And then we have to come and cut back of the skirt. Now the back of the skirt cutting on a fold as well. Alright, cutting. We're gonna get the front. So since the front have the 1/2 inch waist allowance already, we're gonna get the front and we're gonna cut out the back from the front. Alright, gonna get this, place this right here. And we get our 2 pieces of top. So this is the front, what the front gonna look like. This is the front, they come in and wrap here. So we're gonna put this. Now we need the band. So we got enough for the band, so we need to cut this band out. Fold this and we're gonna cut the band out. So we're folding this. My fabric is on a fold. Alright, my fabric is on a fold, so we will cut this band out. So how wide, however wide you want your band, you can go ahead and cut it. Alright, my band, however wide you want your band. So this is 6 and about, let me see, 4 inches is 10. So 10 inches width I have here. So I'm going to cut 5, 5. Right, so when I fold it, I'm going to get 2.5 inches. So 5, 5. So 5 inches, 5 inches I will cut. So I will cut 5 inches, which is straight down this white. So I will cut 5 inches. So it's straight down here. So I will got 2 pieces when I finish. And then I cut it off here. So I had 5 inches with a fold. So I have 2 pieces. Alright, so 5 inches width and the length to the band. I'm gonna measure it and see. Let me get a measuring tape and measure the band to show you the length. So it's 5 inches by 62 inches times 2. Right, so there's the band, the length is 104 inches the length, and the width is 5 inches. right? So I cut 2 5 inches width, which I have 2 pieces, and 104 in length. So when it go around me, the band will think. So we have all our pieces here. So now we're going to clear up this table, and now, so what we're going to do now, we're going to sew up our dress. So we have our dress pieces here. So we have the back, we have the front. So we're going to work on the front first. So this is the front here, that we have 2 pieces of the front right here. This is the front. So for the front, what we need to do first, we need to turn down the inner pieces. Remember we had 1 inch for the inner piece. We need to turn that in like that. We need to come and turn in that inner piece. Remember we had an inner piece for the curve. So we need to come and turn that in. So we're going to fold one here, and then we're going to fold back like this, and we're going to pin. So I'm going to get my small pin, and we're going to pin that curve. This what it will look like. So this would be our top here. This is the front to the top, and then this is one left side, one right side, and it coming and it pinning like this. So this how this top going. So you would have a lovely the wrap top that we want. So we'll press this aside and we'll pin the back. Alright, so we come in and we pin in the back, right side to right side. So this is the right side facing me. So the right side will be facing me, and then the right side would go in and face that, and we would stitch in here. Now my back is kind of deep, so I will sew in a whole inch of this top. So I will sew from the line. If you're using a line of stripe fabric, I would take one of the stripe and pin it. That would be an inch width, and I pin in it, and I will sew down that line. So pin the back, like that, and like this. So that, and now we're gonna get the skirt, making one go to the sewing machine. Get your skirt, open out your skirt. So we're using one skirt for the front, one skirt for the back. So you're gonna open out your skirt like that, right side facing you. So it's right side to right side, and we're gonna do our skirt. We're gonna take our skirt and we're gonna pin it like that. We're going to pin our skirt. Remember we left an inch. So rest this aside. So the band, we're gonna get the band, and we put in the band right side to right side, like this. This is your band. So we're making one long band. So the width of this band is 2.5, which is 10 inches wide cut in two and 104 inches in length, because it's a double band, a long band we need for wrap around and tie. So this band going aside. So what we're going to do now, we're going to get our sewing machine and we're going to sew this in place. Alright, so the first thing we're going to sew the front of our top. So get your sewing machine, if you have your sewing machine, and we're going to sew the front of the top where for knitting the front where we put in. Alright, so this is where we pin along the front. So you're going to put it on your sewing machine. Now I am using a number 3 zigzag stitch on my sewing machine, and I am using a jersey needle. So I'm going to put this down here and I'm going to stitch this. Now I need my pin nearby so I can put my pin then back in place. So I'm going to sew this back stitch. So I'm using a number 3 stitch on my sewing machine. So we have to press our own. So go to your ironing board and press the front, and then color we hook this up onto the mannequin. So with your dress, when you finish pressing, you finish sewing the front seam and you finish pressing it, with your dress, what we're gonna do, we're gonna get the one of the bodice front. Bring your pin close. Get one of the bodice front because we need this to fit neat. Get it onto your mannequin or put it on you and see how far you want it to fit neat. So I have a mannequin, so I'm going to use my mannequin here and I'm going to pin it right here. This is just the front, and I'm going to bring the side, pin the side of this bodice so that I can fit it up to the back of my sleeve when I ready. So I'm going to pin this down. You gotta know for lay a close fit neat. Alright? Pin that down there. Now you pull this back neat like this. So we want this bodice to fit very neat like this. So you see how neat that fit? That's how we want it to fit. So now we're gonna get the back and we're gonna put this on here. So this is the front. So let's get the back. So this is the back. What we need to do, we need to stitch this back neck before we can put anything on. Because remember the front of the neck stitch. So grab your back like this, fold it like that, fold it again, and we come in and we knitting in this neck. Start from here, go back to the middle to the neck. From here, go back to the neck. So I'll do that. So sew it onto your sewing machine. What we're doing here now, we're going to sew this on. Alright? So from one neck point to the next neck point, and we stop in where we reach. Remember to stretch the fabric. Stopping right at the neck point. So we stop right at the neck point right here. Now what we need to do, we need to hook this up. So see, I don't press mines. You need to get the front and hook it to the back here. Alright? So get your shoulder, which is here with the neck point here, and we're gonna pin this right here. I'm gonna pin this. We're gonna come and we're gonna get this, and we're gonna do the same. We're gonna pin this. So we're pinning it. So this is our 2 shoulder pin, keeping this front just like this. We don't want the front to move, so put a pin right in the front here to keep this front so it won't stretch out. So this is how we're pinning it. And now we're gonna come and we're gonna get the sleeve, and we're gonna pin the sleeve along here. All right, so you're gonna come and you're gonna pin your sleeve. Pinning the sleeve. So we pin the sleeve. So this how you're pinning it, but we have to come now and we have to do this on the wrong side. Alright? So take that pin out. Alright? So now we're going to pin. So we pin in shoulder, pinning shoulder. Remember the shoulder had a whole inch. We will pin in 1/2 inch, because remember we taking a 1/2 inch already on the pattern and we fold it for cut it. So pin it. Pin it. And then you come in and we get in this here and we're gonna pin the sides. Side, as I said, we're gonna pin the sleeve. You're gonna, so after you finish pinning your shoulder, we're going down and we're gonna pin the sleeve. Take our top off. And now you'll go to the sewing machine and we will stitch all where we pin. So now we're going and sew all where we pin. So the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna sew this sleeve in place. So from one shoulder, we're gonna stitch this sleeve in place from one shoulder. Don't forget the back stitch. Continue sewing, take out your pin as you go. So we're gonna trim up this top and then we're gonna put it on our sewing, our mannequin, see how it look, and we're gonna get our skirt going. So let's trim away this top. So I will trim away this top. Just trim a little. I don't want the seam too bulky. I'll trim the next side as well. We get under the armhole side here, we're gonna put a snip there. So on my, I'm gonna look for the curve of my sleeve, and I'm going to put the snip right under the armhole, but don't cut through your thread. Just put a couple snip there, just to let it turn properly, right, going around by the turn of the armhole. Turn over it up. Let's see how it look on this mannequin. Let's put it on and let's see. So this is the top of the mannequin. As you guys can see, the front look very neat and nice. Gotta fix the back. You gotta fix back of the top. So this is the back of the top. This is the front to the top. Very neat and nice. So we need to pin this sleeve in order. So you're going to fold in 1/2 inch and then we're going to pin it. So you pin it. So grab your skirt, and now we're going to stitch the 2 skirt side together. So remember, try on your skirt or put it on a mannequin, pin it up like we did, and now we're going to pin these 2 skirt, sew these 2 skirt together. Alright. So we're going to sew the 2 skirt now together. So let's get our skirt, put it under the sewing machine. We're going to stitch down the 2 sides. Remember to stretch it as you're sewing. So after you're done stitch your skirt, now we're going to turn the jacket on the wrong side. So but before we do that, let's sew the sleeve of the jacket. So let's sew the sleeve of the jacket. So you can get your sleeve with your pin, put it under your sewing machine, and we're going to sew it in place. Alright, remove your pin as you go, and let's sew this in place. Take it out. So now you have your sleeve stitch. So what we're going to do now, lay your top down on the table like that. We're going to get our skirt and we're going to pin it like this. So get your top, both will be on the right like this, both will be on the right. So we put the matching up the dress like this, and you get the back of your top, and we pinning it. But we're going to pin the 2 sides together first. So get one side and we're pinning it like this. So pin one side together, pin one side together like that. Get the next side, we're going to pin the next side together like this as well. Pin those sides together. I'm going to pin that side together. And what we're going to do, we're going to pull this skirt to the wrong side so the top will go inside of the skirt. Top will go inside of the skirt. Top going into the skirt like that. So we get it like this. So now we're gonna pin this together. The skirt and the top, we're gonna pin it together. So remember, we have the back and we have the front as well. So this is the back that we have here. So now we're gonna come and we're gonna pin the back. We sewing all around, stretch it as you go. Alright, so let's go to the sewing machine and we're gonna stitch this in place. Stretch this as you go. Remember, the waist is a whole inch we have to take in. I don't like my waist too low. back stitch as you reach. Now you're gonna take it out. You're gonna trim the waist down. So after you don't stitch your top to your skirt, let's go and trim down the waist. Now let's turn it over and let's put it on the mannequin and see how it looks. See how this dress looks. This is the dress on the mannequin. This is the back. This is the back of the dress. This is the front of the dress. So all we have to do now is stitch our dress in place. So what we're gonna do now, we're going to take the dress off the mannequin and we're going to hem this dress. So go and try on your dress and come back and let's hem this dress. I'm going to take my own off the mannequin and I'm going to hem it. Now my dress fit me very nice. I went and tried it on already and it fit me very lovely. So to hem this dress now, that's all we have to do now is hem this dress. So we're going to fold in a 1/2 inch and then fold a next 1/2 inch in again, and we're going to pin this dress. We're going to pin the hem. So fold in and then fold again, and you're going to continue pinning your dress all around until you reach to the point where we start pinning. So now what we're going to do, we're going to go and we're going to sew all our way around this hem of this dress till we finish. So let's go to our sewing machine and let's sew this dress in place. So I would get one side seam of my dress and I'm going to sew it from one side seam. So get your dress, put it on your sewing machine, take out your pins as you go, and let's begin sewing this dress. So now that you finish hemming your dress, go and give your dress a good press and then try it on and see if it's okay, and then we will get sewing the band for the dress. So we finished hemming our dress, cut off all the loose thread. So your hem supposed to be neat like this. This is my hem. So go and put your dress on back on the sewing machine, on the mannequin, sorry. So I put my own back on the mannequin. So you go and give you one a good press, and then let's get sewing the band together. So this is my dress. As you guys can see, this is the finished look of the dress. I will give you a full glance just now. Just fix the dress. That's what the dress will look like. So I'll give you a full liquid. So now we're going to sew our band in place. So what we're going to do, we're going to get our band. Now we can get one piece of the band because we're going to use one piece instead of two pieces that we cut. Because when I put the two pieces together, it was too long and I don't want such a long band, so I decided to make an adjustment and just use one piece of the band. So if you want, you can cut out 5 inches by, let me tell you the measurement, by 60 inches long, right? So I using one piece, so my band, so I'm going to sew one end and I'm going to sew across here, go straight down, leave a 1 inch between, stitch again, and then I'll stitch the band and then come round to the other end. So we're leaving 1 inch between so that we can turn the band. So when you finish sewing your band, you're gonna trim the allowance, right? Trim the allowance of the band when you finish. And now get a ruler. I get a slim ruler and I just turn, let me show you how I just turn my band. I pull it apart like this, send it to the inside like this, then I get the ruler, insert it, and then I feed it through to where I have the 1 inch opening like this. So find the 1 inch opening and insert it, pull the ruler out, turn your band like this. Do the same thing for the other side. And you turn your band like this. Now the opening is a small opening. If you want, you can hem it on the sewing machine for close it up, but I don't like the stitch how it does look, so I just leave my own like this, and when I press in it, I put a piece of hemming tape to hold it. So this is what your band would look like. Give your band a good press, and then if you want to close the opening with a piece of hemming tape and come and tie your dress, your band onto your dress. Give your band a good press. And come and tie your band to your dress. I don't want my band too long, so that's why I only use one piece of the band that I cut. So this is what your dress can look like. So this is the finished look of the dress. I will show you the back. Let me just fix the band. If you want, you can make your band longer, but I don't want my band longer. So this is the back of the dress, what it look like. This is the front of the dress. You see how the front sit on neat. This is the band of the dress, and this is the inner section of the dress. So you have your dress. So I'm going to put some photo up with this dress, let you guys see the finished look of this dress and how it looks. As you guys can see, this dress sit on very neat in the back. Let me just fix the back. Yes, this dress sit down very neat in the back. Now just how this dress fit this mannequin, it's gonna fit me. Alright, so this is the finished look of the dress, what it look like, and I'm really happy with the way the dress look. I'm going to put some photo so you guys can see how this dress look. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoy this tutorial. I hope you guys enjoy and have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in my next tutorial. Bye bye.